In this video, I'm going to show you two ways you can cut your cording for your upholstery project. You can cut it either along the straight grain of your fabric or on the diagonal grain, which is the stretchy direction of the fabric. And I'll show you the pros and cons of each. One big difference between straight grain and bias cuts for cording is fabric use. When you're cutting on the straight grain, you're just cutting off one edge of your fabric. When you're cutting on the bias, you're cutting a 45-degree angle all the way across the width of the fabric. So your fabric requirement is going to be quite a bit more. Another difference that might not seem so obvious is the slight wrinkling of straight grain cording at the corners. You can see that here at this corner, while at the other bias grain corner, it's nice and smooth. Here are a couple tips for making better corners with upholstery cording. We'll start by making a simple cardboard corner gauge. A piece of cardboard from a cereal box would be perfect for this. Just cut about a 2" by 2" square and then draw a 1/2" by 1/2" square on one corner. The 1/2" corresponds to the seam allowance, which you'll use as a gauge to snip the cording to turn that corner, which I'll demonstrate now. You'll be stitching the cording to each of your cushion faces with the edges lined up as you see here. As you get to within about 2" of each corner, that's when you stop stitching and mark your pivot point. Line up your horizontal 1/2" mark with the horizontal edge of your cushion face and make a mark on your cording a 1/2" above that. Then go ahead and snip right up to the stitch line at that mark. Be sure to cut only the cording and not the cushion face. Continue stitching right up to that snipped mark, and then with your needle down, raise the presser foot and bend the cording around the corner. You should end up with the needle right at that pivot point. I usually end up taking a diagonal stitch across that corner before I get totally around that 90-degree turn. It's a good idea to pin as you go after you turn each corner and try to stitch right on top of your cording stitching. Just work on each corner as you get to it and don't try to pin everything at once. In a perfect world, you'll end up with a perfectly square corner gap like this. Thanks so much for watching. If this video has been helpful to you, check out the related video, How to Make Your Own Upholstery Cording, on this YouTube channel, and be sure to subscribe if you want to learn more.